GoPro. Okay, I've tried to make this trail look good on camera a ton of times and I never manage. The reason is it's rough up here, especially today because there's chestnuts everywhere. It's kind of hard. Normally it's a bit softer. It's just full of these rutty bumps. It feels great when you're hitting it at speed. All these little launch pads. And previously I was trying to record this with my GoPro session, typically on a chest mount, which usually isn't so bad, but when it gets too rough it's not doable. Ooh, too much speed and the wrong gearing. So now, which makes the footage all shaky obviously, and then when you put that onto YouTube it's even worse because of the horrible compression, which is mainly a problem of bitrate. Nice. So now what I've got a GoPro 7, which is really nice electronic stabilization for vibrations. It won't help with massive hits. And if you go through a rock garden or something like that and you've got a kind of loose-ish chest cam, which I had the first couple of times I tried it out, I was pretty disappointed actually. I thought I wasted my money on this. Ow! Just got a branch to the mouth. But now what I'm using is a chin mount. So I've got the camera mounted to the bottom of my full face helmet, which is a bit annoying because I gotta wear a full face and it's fucking roasting, and I don't really believe in full faces outside of bike parks and downhill races. This is not really a trail where I could break my teeth on my face. And anyway, moving along. Wrong line. So the chin mount, at least your helmet in general, in your head, seems to be the most stable place to mount a camera. The problem is if you mount it above your head, it looks kind of shit. It just looks like a drone, so you don't really get any of the sensations of being inside the head of the rider. I guess it's maybe like the equivalent of when you're in like a small car and you're lower to the ground, it feels faster, even though you might be going the same speed as a bigger car. Just that sensation of speed isn't there. So chin mount with GoPro 7's hypersmooth, is that what they call it? Something like that. Filtering, which really works well for vibrations. And the thing is, most GoPro footage, oh no! Most GoPro footage looks good enough on your computer or phone, which doesn't really count, and then you put it on YouTube or wherever else, Facebook, Pinkbike, Vimeo, and it looks garbage. Even if you're uploading at 4K 60 and everything, the problem is bitrate. So the amount of pixels that are allowed to change per second, more or less, which YouTube, I think, for 1080, so 1080 footage would be amazing if YouTube was giving us a high enough bitrate for it. But they're limiting it at 8, which is rubbish unless you're just standing in front of your computer talking, which is what most of YouTube is, to be fair. But if you've got fast moving images, it's just not good enough. So I upload in 4K. This one I'm filming in 4K 30. That gives me 20 megabytes per second of bitrate, which is a lot better. I think if you go to 60, you get a little bit more megabytes per second, but there's a bit of a fallacy here, which is 1080p gives you 8. YouTube gives you 8 megabytes per second. If you film in 4K, you've got 4 times the pixels. Yet Google only doubles. Maybe it goes to 20, so 2.5. So it only 2.5 times, multiplied by 2.5 times the bitrate. Yet you're pushing 4 times more pixels. And it's the same with high frequency. If you go to 60 frames per second, YouTube only gives you like 20% more bitrate, but you're doubling the amount of information. So it's kind of the main problem. Bonjour. Ou te pousse pas, hein, y a pas de souci. Bonne balade. So that's why if you're riding slowly, there's not that much pixels changing. You've got the same scene. That's why sometimes the super slow-mo shots look so good, because you've only got one object changing and the background is staying fixed. But in biking especially, everything's moving. So ideally you want this highest bit rate that you can find. So 4K 30, the more it's stabilized, the less things are going to be moving. Obviously, if you've got a picture even and you're just shaking it up and down, depending on the compression algorithm, I can totally screw it up. So thanks to the chin mount and the hypersmooth, and in pushing this video at 4K, I'm really trying to sneak through YouTube's issues and get something visible outside. Now I have noticed that 4K, to display it, seems to only happen if YouTube, the app or the browser determines that you've got a 4K compatible device. So sometimes you push in 4K and the viewer can only see this horribly compressed 1080p version with the lower bitrate, and you get this weird like blurriness. Every 5 seconds the whole image just goes blurry. It's a bit frustrating. Gopro actually used to provide a service to upload that didn't have this issue. It was just a high bitrate video upload service, but they still have the service. It's just no longer high bitrate. It's actually pretty low quality now, which is a shame. There's definitely a gap somewhere in the market, which I think if GoPro marketed properly, they could probably be on top, but whatever, that's their problem.